What if I told you that the biggest financial heist of 2024 wasn't pulled off by some rogue hackers, but by an entire nation? Not just any nation, North Korea. The same country struggling with famine, crushed by sanctions, isolated from the global financial system. Somehow, it just stole $1.34 billion in cryptocurrency. And if you think this was just another cyber attack, you're not paying attention. This wasn't just about money. This was financial warfare, a direct attack on the global economy, a funding source for nuclear weapons, and a brutal wake-up call that no system, no exchange, no so-called decentralized protocol is safe. North Korea's cyber army isn't some group of basement hackers. This is a state-sponsored, military-grade hacking machine operating with one purpose: launder, fund missiles, repeat. And this time, they went bigger than ever. Because let's be real, North Korea doesn't have oil exports. It doesn't have a booming tech sector. It doesn't have international trade. What it does have is Lazarus Group, Kimsuki, and Underwis, some of the most advanced cybercrime syndicates in the world, all operating under Pyongyang's Reconnaissance General Bureau. These guys aren't just stealing to get rich, they're stealing to survive. And in 2024, they upgraded their playbook. They didn't just exploit crypto platforms, they infiltrated them. Fake LinkedIn profiles, AI-generated faces so realistic that even hiring managers couldn't tell the difference. These weren't bots. These were full background, fully fleshed out blockchain developers and security engineers. And they weren't just trying to scam people. They were applying for jobs. And the worst part? Some of them got hired. Imagine that, your company's newest developer. The guy auditing your code is actually a North Korean operative. Welcome to cybercrime in 2024. But here's the thing. They didn't even need to get inside these companies to break them. One email. That's all it took. One AI-generated phishing email, crafted so well that even security-conscious developers clicked on it. And that one click? Game over. Malware injected, backdoors installed, security defenses bypassed without a single alarm going off. And before anyone even knew what was happening, millions of dollars were already being siphoned out. But that was just phase one. Because once they got in, they didn't just steal, they exploited. 2024 was the year of the cross-chain bridge disaster. Moving assets between blockchains? Yeah, that's the weakest link in the entire system. North Korea knew that. They knew where to poke, where the cracks were, and they went all in. Time delay withdrawal bugs? Exploited. Fake Oracle price feeds? Manipulated. Web3 development tools? Compromised before they were even deployed. Remember the Ronin bridge hack in 2022? That was amateur hour compared to this. This time, Lazarus drained $220 million from a single DeFi protocol overnight. And the system didn't even notice until it was too late. And it gets worse. They didn't stop at DeFi platforms. They sabotaged hardware wallets. You know those ultra-secure, unhackable Ledger and Trezor wallets? Yeah. One fake firmware update later, and 12,000 users woke up to find their funds wiped. And here's the thing. Once the money was gone, tracking it was nearly impossible. Because North Korea isn't just good at stealing, they're even better at disappearing. Before investigators could even start tracing transactions, Lazarus Group was already in phase 2, laundering. They didn't wait around. Within minutes of a heist, the stolen crypto was being swapped for Monero, a privacy coin that's practically untraceable. Then came the mixers. Twister money, decentralized laundering pools, everything designed to break transaction trails into pieces so small that forensic teams couldn't piece them back together. And the final step? Over-the-counter brokers in Hong Kong. By the time law enforcement agencies even identified the hacked wallets, the funds had already been converted to Chinese yuan and stablecoins, cashed out through fake shell companies, and funneled straight into Pyongyang's war chest. And you know what that means? That Bitcoin you bought last year? That Ethereum you're holding? Some of it, somewhere down the line, may have already been laundered through these networks. And this is where it gets terrifying. Because if North Korea can do this, if they can pull off the biggest crypto heist in history with AI-powered social engineering, zero-day exploits, and undetectable laundering techniques, what's stopping them from doing it again? What's stopping them from hitting stock exchanges next? Taking down financial institutions? Draining entire economies? This wasn't just a robbery. This was a blueprint. And right now, nobody is ready for what comes next. Because here's the thing. This heist wasn't just a one-time score. It was a proof of concept. A test run for a system so effective that by the time security teams figured out what happened, the money had already vanished. And let's be honest, $1.34 billion, that's just what we know about. The real number? Probably higher. Because North Korea isn't just hacking companies, they're hacking the entire financial system. And governments? They're playing catch-up. Even after the attacks, after the biggest theft in crypto history, the response was laughable. AI-powered transaction monitoring? Great, except it flagged 92% of laundering attempts after the money was already gone. Governance votes to blacklist hacker wallets? Sure, except North Korea was already moving funds through new addresses before the bans even went live. Regulatory pressure on centralized exchanges? That's cute. 83% of these stolen funds moved through offshore platforms with zero compliance. What are you gonna do? Send a strongly worded email to a Seychelles-based exchange? North Korea is untouchable, operating through layers of obfuscation so deep that even the best blockchain forensics teams are constantly one step behind. And here's the kicker. It's not just crypto anymore, because if Lazarus Group can do this to decentralized finance, what's stopping them from moving into traditional markets? Think about it. The same tactics that drained $1.34 billion from DeFi protocols could be used against stock exchanges, commodities markets, entire banking infrastructures. AI-powered social engineering isn't just for stealing seed phrases. It could compromise financial analysts, hedge fund managers, entire institutions. Fake employees, deep-fake video calls, AI-written reports designed to mislead and manipulate markets. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that an entire industry was just hacked into oblivion overnight. Sounds impossible? So did this heist. And let's talk about where this money actually ends up. This isn't just a group of cyber criminals bragging about a big Bitcoin haul. This is state-backed financial crime fueling one of the most heavily sanctioned governments in the world. According to South Korea's intelligence agency, $800 million of the stolen crypto was funneled directly into military programs. We're talking about uranium enrichment, missile development, and weapons testing, all bankrolled with stolen digital assets. And this isn't a theory, it's documented. Investigators have traced payments to Russian suppliers for high-strength aluminum alloys, Iranian experts consulting on missile guidance systems. Crypto scams are bad enough. Now imagine an entire country using stolen Bitcoin to fund long-range weapons development. And if you think this isn't affecting you, look at what happened to the market. March 14, 2024, Lazarus-controlled wallets dump $150 million in Bitcoin, triggering a 9% crash. Investors panic, DeFi protocols take an 18% hit, $4.2 billion pulled from platforms overnight. Because this isn't just about North Korea. Every time they pull off an attack like this, trust in the entire system collapses. Every stolen dollar, every manipulated transaction, it all weakens the foundations of the crypto industry. You know what happens when people lose trust? They cash out, they leave. And when that happens, DeFi dies. So what's the response? Governments are scrambling. The US South Korea Cyber Task Force claims they recovered $120 million in assets. Fantastic. Only $122 billion left to go. Ledger's next-gen hardware wallet promises biometric security. Great. Except that won't stop an exploit that drains funds before you even notice. DeFi protocols are rolling out AI-powered runtime integrity checkers. Amazing. Except none of this matters if your biggest vulnerability is a human clicking the wrong email. And here's the scariest part. Lazarus Group is already preparing for the next stage. You think blockchain forensics can catch them? They're already testing quantum-resistant cryptography. Quantum, as in, good luck tracking these transactions in 5 years quantum. Because while the rest of the world is debating regulation, arguing over privacy coins, and complaining about gas fees, North Korea is figuring out how to make stolen crypto completely untraceable. And if they pull that off, it's game over. Because this isn't an anomaly, this is the future of cybercrime. And if the industry doesn't figure out how to stop it now, North Korea just gave the world a blueprint for state-sponsored financial warfare. The only question left is who's next.